You're listening to The Real Short Box, a comic book podcast made for geeks by geeks.
Hello, everybody out there in podcast land, and thank you for listening to The Real Short Box. My name is Donald, and I'm here with a very special guest, one action star, Caleb Porter. Caleb, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you for joining me, Caleb. We are here for a very special episode. This is actually a new section of our podcast we're going to be calling Tub Talks. What is Tub Talks, you might ask? Well, it's kind of like TED Talks, but in a bathtub. So basically how it works is I am in my bathtub with my Epsom salt, soaking, relaxing, nice hot bath. And Caleb is doing the same from his location, taking a nice hot bath. And we are discussing all things comic books and pop culture related, basically. But today, for the inaugural episode, the very first episode of Tub Talks, we're going to be talking a good bit, a fair amount, about underwater or water-based comic characters, which I thought would just be a hoot. Oh, man, like, so cool. So thank you for joining me on this ridiculous endeavor, sir.
Yeah, I'm happy to be the first rubber ducky reader.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Let me just grab
I gotta be honest, like, the underwater heroes aren't really my thing. I feel, if it's possible, they're kind of stale as far as, like, storylines.
They very much are. Underwater heroes aren't really anybody's thing, to be honest. Like, not much anymore.
They really aren't.
When they mentioned an Aquaman movie back in Entourage for HBO back then.
I remember that.
Yeah, the Jeremy Piven starring like show. It was laughable. Everybody, it was written to be a joke. And lo and behold, 2018 comes around and we have an Aquaman movie. Like,
yeah,
how crazy is that?
It's like when I don't know, an organism has to kill everybody else to stay alive. You know? Because
Yeah.
like we got the badass Jason Momoa. So it was basically like Lobo underwater, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't, parted to the side, Arthur Curry Aquaman, like this is like a biker basically underwater.
Yeah.
So, the changing times,
You're 100% correct. I would say this is probably the closest adaptation to Peter David's run from the 90s, like, 96, 97, somewhere around there, I think. 95, maybe?
Yeah. I love that artist on those, too. I think his name's Marty Egeland.
Yeah, him and there's another dude, too. I can't remember his name now.
He looks like Waringo?
I know Daryl Banks, I believe was his name. He wrote her, like, he drew a few issues here and there, if I recall. But he was primarily over on Green Lantern. But I can't remember the guy's name. I got him to autograph, like, to sign one of the Aquaman comic books, actually. I think the #1 issue, like, from Peter David's run. But now I can't even remember his name.
Huh.
I'll have to look that up.
I'm like racking my brains. Like, I think there was a guy named Kirk Javerin.
Let's see.
Yeah, this probably isn't the best radio, but there was a Jim Calafiore, I think.
That's it.
For a little bit.
That's it. Jim Calafiore. He signed my book.
Yeah, I was thinking of it because it's like, wow, you're so close to California. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swear with like the underwater comic books, it's so disconnected from us because like, they're underwater, but like, it's always like the three storylines where, we're going to overthrow the surface dwellers or whatever. And there's an ecological disaster somewhere happening. Or my favorite one, some primordial enemy is coming up through like the Marianas Trench or something. And you got to battle it back. And you're like the buffer between.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that kind of covers it besides like, stupid like royalty subplots as far as Atlantis.
Right. You've got the Kraken of the week, and then you have all of the what's really fun is to get political on comics. So then you have all the heir to the throne type discussions and arguments
Yep.
and complications with that, and that can only take you so far. But one thing
Well,
that
I think we all gave Peter David a really good pass. Like I would not be reading any Aquaman if it wasn't for Peter David.
right,
So,
I mean, he took his
I
hand
think it's
like
just
right out of the bat. So right out of the gate, like he took his hand. So that's a big
Yeah. What
what
was
the
that, like
shit?
piranhas, right?
Yeah, I think it was like piranhas or something. So yeah, it was like a total kind of a mind fuck for a young kid, like wow, Aquaman's, and then he replaced it with like a hook. So he's
Yep.
basically like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Well, yeah. Well, first it was rudimentary, and he was basically like an Ahab kind of archetype, and then
Mm-hmm.
it got the magical hook qualities. Yeah, where he could be like Scorpion and
And then I think it was
get
like
over here.
Bill Willingham eventually started writing it, if I recall, although I could be wrong. And then he created like an elemental water hand.
You know
But
what? That sounds right.
that sounds like in his wheelhouse, so we'll just say it was Bill Willingham that did that. But if it's not
I
our
feel
fault,
like Aquaman is kind of like, in a way, kind of like Marvel's Daredevil, as far as like people just really want to put their stamp on that character.
yeah,
I feel like it's had a pretty notable amount of writers on that. Like Jeff Johns for a little bit. There's a gentleman I like named Will Pfeiffer that wrote it
mm-hmm,
like in the early aughts.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. He also wrote that Dial H for Hero, if I recall.
Yes,
Too.
good
Yeah,
job.
yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
that with that amazing artwork from that veteran guy.
Yeah,
God, I hope this podcast doesn't turn into like, who was that guy? Who was that guy?
it always
But
does with
yeah,
me
that
though.
amazing artist that came back for the Shazam series for a little bit. I
I
want to
know.
say like Daryl something. I'm
You're not
so
talking
sorry.
about Ordway, are you?
No, not Ordway.
Because Ordway did some of the covers for the like Shazam and stuff, and then the interiors, I think, too.
Hmm.
And that was like
It'll come to me
'90s
probably
slash 2000s. I
hours
think it
after
was,
this podcast over with.
of course, I think it was the '90s though that he was doing it. So I don't know
Yeah.
what the shit do I know. I think the one saving grace that we have with Aquaman is a little known fact, and not a lot of people know, and that's the appearance of a particular character. He appeared in 1956 in Adventure Comics number 229. That is the sidekick to Aquaman, Topo.
What's his name?
Topo. Topo.
Wow.
Topo. Now, Topo is a sentient octopus, or basically just a regular octopus, because octopuses are pretty sentient. They're intellectual as a
Oh, they're alive. They exist.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I've never seen it outside of pictures, but it would have to be a really big conspiracy to keep this lie up for me.
Right. So I mean, even as far as like just recently, they were doing this not too long ago. They did this series called Resident Alien with Alan Tudyk.
Okay.
And he was an alien from outer space that was kind of hiding undercover on Earth in a small town in Colorado. And he went to like a sushi place, and there was an octopus in water there that they were going to obviously like cook. And he walked up to the tank and started having a conversation with him because apparently those aliens are descendants of octopi.
Ooh.
So I thought that was
I just want to take a quick side detour and say that Alan Tudyk, whatever,
yeah.
he is slowly but surely like building his resume for like an all-time, kind of like prestige.
I mean, as far as like his ability to mimic and create, like he does a lot of that motion capture shit too.
Yeah.
Like he was that robot in iRobot, and then he's been he was that droid in what was that, Rogue One. He was the droid that everybody hated to love or loved,
Nice.
I guess.
It's like
So yeah,
it's not just Andy Serkis. Like there's another guy.
no, it's not Andy Serkis, and it's not just um, James Gunn's brother or whatever his name is. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Hey,
You know
so
who?
let's go to the other side of the thing. I know you're Mr. DC, but what do you have to say about Namor? Like they're
Oh,
you know.
man, like, it's interesting because Namor is like Marvel's first superhero, basically. Marvel Comics'
Yeah.
superhero ever. So it's hard to diss that. It's like trying to talk shit about Superman. I don't like to do it.
Right.
And that's just because it's the first thing out of the gate what they tried to do. I mean,
Yeah.
Marvel Comics #1 was cover dated October of 1939, but his character was created before that. His character was created for a book called Motion Picture Funny Weekly.
Was that under the Timely banner?
Yeah, under the Timely
Yeah.
banner, but it did not appear in there because I don't know specifically why. I guess they just decided not to do it, and so they decided to put him in Marvel Comics #1. So it's really hard to talk smack about it. But one thing I did not know, however, is that his name isn't just Namor the Submariner or Prince Namor. He's got a last name. He's got the
Okay.
same.
Well, what is it?
He's got the same last name of a famous dog that loved to sell beer.
Mackenzie?
Yep.
Whoa.
His full name is
Hey,
Namor
Namor
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
Yeah. Like, what the shit? That
That's pretty wild.
really rocked my world. Now, it was the creator of Namor. He was created by Bill Everett. He both wrote and did the art, which is kind of rare for back then, to be honest, because there were always teams.
Yeah.
You always had teams. It wasn't until like you got into like the really independent books of like the 60s and 70s, underground shit, or like the indie, Eclipse, Pacific books and stuff of the
Right.
80s that you started seeing that more and more and more. But, for this in the 30s, this was like pretty groundbreaking for me, and probably for a lot of other people too.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely stuck because, Bill Everett's style was he kept that triangle head for Namor, and that was like pretty much replicated like all through the '60s by, Kirby, whatever. Like he always had that triangle head.
Yep. Yeah. When he first appeared in a Fantastic Four comic, exactly the same, basically. So I think it was a great
Yeah.
homage that they did to Bill Everett and for him for doing that. Obviously they didn't bring him in on that loop when it came to Fantastic Four, but it was nice that they, did the homage for that and gave him, a little credit there.
It's crazy how pop culture kind of like moves the boats, pun intended.
Yeah.
Because like Namor, like it's the joke Aquaman, like go fucking talk to some fishes, like or some fish, you're lame, you're stupid. But like Submariner, Namor, just by like people not knowing about him, he kind of missed all that, even though he was first. So it's just interesting that he was always there, but like he always gets the like I'm gonna steal your girl, from Mr. Fantastic. He never
That's
gets
like his
he's
shtick.
the dork underwater.
An underwater horn dog is like his shtick permanently.
Yeah.
And he has no sidekick.
He has the attitude to prove it.
Right, and he has no sidekick octopuses. So I mean, it's cool. I love that. Like he's so arrogant. I think that's great. That's definitely a trait that they're gonna have to keep for him if they put him in a film, which they will. They will.
It's gotta happen.
And let me just ask you: do you have the first appearance of Namor? Just lying around?
I do not. No.
No? Oh, okay. All right, because I don't either, and I don't have the extra $1 million or $2 million, whatever it costs now to buy that book. So I'm never going to own it. But what I do own is 3 or 4 copies of Namor #1 from the 90s. So
I have
rich.
1 copy. You're talking the John Byrne, right?
Yep, you got it. Yeah, I'm rich, motherfuckers.
That's what's up.
Finally, I have enough money to buy.
If I'm not wrong, like that's one of those covers that gets kind of swiped every now and then, right?
Yeah.
Where he's like coming up out of the water.
It totally does. Yeah. Of course it does.
I know Byrne likes to kind of swipe himself with some of his classic, Superman covers. But like I've seen that Namor pose with like, Human Torch on a cover.
Yeah. And let's be honest, they're not doing it out of like, oh, this is for sentimentality or whatever. It's just probably to save time, as like for swiping your own work. You're just really retooling it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you're taking the basic forms and retooling. So it's
Yeah,
fine.
it's like the first one was a mulligan. Like I can kind of like rejigger this and maybe get it right. Which I
Right.
mean, it's always fun. Like being an artist, you got to be pretty self-referential anyway. You know, because that's what it's all about, right? Getting your name out there.
Right. Absolutely. So let's quickly go over because we all know Aquaman's abilities, but I wasn't so sure on Namor's. So I'm just going to go over a quick list of things that he can do, and then we can discuss
Sounds
because
good.
I'm quite enamored with this. I'm quite puzzled by some of
I
these.
see what you did there.
So so he has aquatic adaptation, which of course is duh. I mean, he can breathe underwater. We get that. He's got superhuman strength, speed, agility, senses, and reflexes. He has mild invulnerability due to, being under the pressure of underwater. That makes sense. He has flight.
Yeah, and it also excuses why he doesn't come out looking like a prune every time.
Yep, very
You
true.
know, that skin's very resilient.
Very. He also has flight via tiny little wings on his ankles, which
I was hoping you'd say that. Yes.
at some point they got rid of and then brought back and then got rid of and then brought back. So those wings disappear
Oh, no
and reappear
way.
very often.
I feel like it was Wizard Magazine or something, or it might have just been like the Namor letters column or something. But I remember somebody was asking if like those wings on the ankles are just for show because they couldn't possibly support his weight, and then the editor or whatever being like, "Well, no, those are what make him fly," and just being like, "No."
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you shut your mouth? It is what makes him fly, you son of a bitch. Meet me after
Yeah,
school.
it's so funny, like when normies, you know, kind of like see an aspect of our comic book culture that we've, you know, long ago like suspended our disbelief over. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. And then we
like
make fun
I
of somebody for
remember a
something
little
else.
off topic, but I was playing a video game on my phone, and Black Bolt, the from the Inhumans, was on there,
Uh-huh.
and my roommate was looking over my shoulder, and he's like, "Does that guy have a tuning fork in his head?" I have to be like, "Yes."
Yes, he
How
does.
ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's really ridiculous. But I will say, when I was looking at I was like, should I get a first Inhumans or a first Black Bolt? Even though there's so many characters in the Inhumans, and that first Inhumans appearance would have been a lot of characters, and it might have been the smarter purchase. I was like, fuck it, I got to get first Black Bolt because he's just so ridiculous. So that's what I ended up doing. I got first Black Bolt.
Dude, Donald. Okay, why don't you, for the folks at home, why don't you drop back Black Bolt's real name?
Well, should I say it like he does?
No, we don't want the world to explode. But, you know, I mean, if you could do it in whisper, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, okay, I can whisper it. It's interesting because for those that don't know, Black Bolt can't really speak. If he does, basically the whole world he could basically um, he could destroy the world with his voice. In other words, he has this
Yeah,
size.
Black Bolt was doing the ellipsis as an answer way before manga got a hold of it.
Right, but his alter ego, so to speak, his other name he goes by, it's Blackagar Boltagon.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's it.
Yeah, it's definitely
Like,
it.
why did they do that?
But you heard the giant sigh before I said it because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, why did they do that?
Boltagon.
Like, that's so ridiculous. Like, and somebody has to tell a newbie that with a straight face. You know, talking about this guy with a tuning fork in his head, and he's like so powerful. Like, he's ridiculous. He's like so uber powered. You know, he's like in the top 5 easily.
Blackagar Boltagon. Duh.
Blackagar Boltagon.
And he's fighting Namor Mackenzie tonight. What?
Jeez.
What a weird
Comics. You have to love them because if you don't love them, then you're not here. You know.
Correct. Yeah. So to continue on with his powers for Namor, getting back to that.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. He's got telepathic control over sea creatures. Here's a great one. It's longevity. So I think they're talking about in the bedroom.
Oh my.
Yeah. And
Ancient Atlantean secret, huh?
he's telling Sue Storm all the time, I've got
He's telling her
longevity,
what's up.
baby. Longevity. And then there's hydrokinesis, which we understand he can like manipulate water, I guess, to a point, which is
Yeah,
okay.
isn't that like the Wonder Twins, like shape of a whatever, you know? It's
Yeah,
always
kind
water.
of. Well, he also has the ability to copy the powers of oceanic life forms. So,
Whoa.
like, he could eat the eggs of his young, I guess. I don't know. Like, he's got,
Dude, you
got
don't want that guy around your morning eggs.
yeah, got some good powers there. I invited Namor for lunch, and he just kept eating my eggs.
You know, Donald, I gotta say, like it really is a testament to Namor's arrogance that he can try and big time on somebody's wife when the husband has the power to stretch his body parts.
Yeah.
Like, dude, how are you getting under this guy's skin? You know,
Right.
like
Because
that's insane.
he can
But
expand
Namor does
parts
it.
too. Let's be clear on that. He can lengthen and expand parts. And we're talking about Mr. Fantastic for those that don't know, aka Reed Richards from the Fantastic.
Yeah, AKA everybody's thought about this when they were in 6th grade.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but like this guy is getting like what's the word, cucked? You know, and then Sue is like, okay, this person that lives underwater and doesn't really follow the customs, but he's just so handsome. You know,
Right.
like, you got like nothing in common with this guy. You
He's
know?
he's a prince. What can I say? He's a
Yeah, I
prince.
guess
There's
that Prince title, man.
and what does that tell you other than the age-old story about a woman just wanting a man for his money? I mean,
You hate to see it.
yep, you hate to see it. It's true. So two more here. He has bodily water generation, which I don't know what the fuck that means.
Like he
he,
doesn't have to have a Gatorade to rehydrate.
I guess, or he can just continuously urinate without having to drink anything. I don't know.
You know, that kind of sounds like the fourth storyline for these underwater guys. You know, the cliffhanger where they've been out of water for too long.
Yeah, or like how they can kill somebody by just continuously pissing in their mouth until they die.
Oh, Garth Ennis.
Yep. He's gonna weld some dogs and then piss in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, weld some dogs to him
God,
first,
I
and then
swear,
piss.
like Wizard Magazine was just a playground for Garth Ennis when he was coming up. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
think Dog Welder was like the #1 hero of the year for their like little annual contest.
Oh yeah. That makes sense. And we were just talking
Ridiculous.
about on another podcast, we were talking about the other guy that like he gets his power by like sexually harassing and molesting men, if I
Oh
recall.
yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Sir Bueno.
That's it, Sir Breno, yeah. Well, Jesus.
Dude, you need to. I'm sure you have, but you need to get the Hitman versus Lobo comic book.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Did you read that?
I haven't read it, but I'm well aware of it, and I really do want to read it. I just never got around to it.
Oh, like this. So this is in like one of your 50 stacks of comic books. You just have to find it, or
Um,
it's back in
that's the
Ohio.
problem. It's either back in Ohio or I don't have it at all. So
Okay. All right.
that's a
Well,
hard one because I only
man,
got the
if you can find a
CLZ
reader
app
copy,
recently.
like if you know everything that happens in that, like I'm not gonna say anything, but it's like Garth Ennis has a way of just like pissing all over any hero you might like or any character. Like he just makes them ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
So that's a lot of fun regarding trolling Lobo.
and Lobo's a fun one to troll. Let's be real. Superman did it.
Oh yeah.
It's not hard to troll Lobo, but it's dangerous.
I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You think I want to get fragged?
Yeah. Now, did you know that like the Submariner? Did you know he wasn't originally like he's Marvel's first mutant, is what they say, but I don't think he was originally coined a mutant until a
Oh,
little.
no way. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't even think that term existed, right?
Yeah, I don't think it existed until the X-Men, and then at that point they were like, "Oh yeah, Namor's a mutant too."
Yeah,
but
because I
but I
think
could be
they were
wrong.
doing that thing like because he was born that way.
Yeah.
They get really loose with the mutant things, you know.
Yeah, and then like they didn't have the rights in film to the X-Men like for the longest time. So they were trying to make everybody that was a mutant basically a inhuman then. And that
Oh god, that was the biggest like fall on their face.
wow,
I
it
didn't
was
even
bad.
watch the Inhuman show because I was so insulted by the prospect of like okay, I can grant even now like I don't really need to read a Wolverine story for the rest of my life. Like I got the character, you know, I love it. I don't really need any more of it. But for them to have the balls to think, oh yeah, we'll just throw Wolverine away. You're gonna like these Inhumans. Like shame on you, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Shame on Disney for doing that because you know that that was their decision. It had
Serious.
to be. They were like,
Like
well,
the whole bait and switch with fucking the X-Men. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that
yeah,
was ridiculous.
no, thank you. No, thank you. So let's quickly run over a couple more underwater characters. I've got a couple
Let's
pulled up
do it.
here. Let's talk a moment about Stingray. Now, he's a fascinating.
Stingray.
Yeah. Apparently, he killed Steve Irwin. I did not know this, but too
Yeah,
soon.
right in the heart.
It's too soon, isn't it? Sorry.
Man,
Sorry,
he was
everybody.
like William Tell on that one.
Yeah,
Right in the
He's
heart.
he's an oceanographer, like an experienced oceanographer, a skilled inventor of oceanographic equipment. He's very smart. He has an exoskeleton battle suit that's for underwater like durability and swimming and you know like
Donald, this is the red and white one, right? Like he doesn't have
yeah,
he has like a blank mask face.
totally. He looks like he should either
Okay, yeah,
be
okay,
in
that
an
okay.
anime film or part of the Alpha Flight, but he's neither.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just had to go through my ocean. Like I'm thinking, like Tiger Shark. No, no, no. He's a villain. He's actually kind of cool. But yeah, Stingray. That's right.
Hmm. So he
Um.
basically gets his suit and he has his powers, and he like starts to help out Namor and stuff, and you know ingratiates himself more and more with the Avengers and things, up to the point where you know he's basically kind of they wanted to do a kind of a Hydro base to superhero team, the Avengers. They wanted to do something like that, and he was a part of that. And then he was a big part of the Armor Wars storyline, where Iron Man confronts, bless you, he confronts Stingray, mistakenly believing that Newell's suit was based on technology stolen from Stark Enterprises.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've always heard like remember last time we talked I did the Operation Galactic Storm. Like
Uh huh.
Armor Wars is one of those storylines that just kind of sits there. Like
Yeah.
I don't know anything because we don't really care about Iron Man, you know, or Thor.
I mean, unfortunately, in like the '90s when we were growing up, like that's kind of a dead zone for Iron Man and Thor and things like that. There wasn't.
And throw in Submariner on that, definitely.
Yeah, there really wasn't anything that kind of drew you to the character. Even Daredevil, to be honest, Captain America, all of them were kind of languishing a bit. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, it wasn't honestly. If it was, I don't think if it was for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we'd still have some of these characters in print. You know?
I think that's very fair. Yeah. Like, you know, God, like Thor, what a weird sell, you know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, let's be honest, it's just like what do they call that when it's public domain? Like Thor is a public domain character, you know, like even DC has a couple Thors running around, you
Yep.
know, and then to make this work as like Marvel's Thor, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. To the point, so much to the point that nobody else even really wants to try anymore. You know what I mean? They're not like trying. But
That's yeah.
they did recently, I guess not so recent. It's been a while. It's been since like probably the like '80s that Marvel created their own Wonder Woman, and like low key under the radar, and then re-brought that back out in like a Supreme Power run for the Marvel. I think it was their Max run
Yeah,
that they
you're
brought the
talking
character.
Princess Power, right? For a Squadron
Yep,
Supreme?
you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Princess
Yeah,
Power. She was basically
that was
just a
written by
carbon copy.
Straczynski.
Yep,
I
yep,
mean, you
yep.
know, the remake was by Straczynski, the
Yeah,
Supreme Power.
Uh-huh.
Great comic stories. Really, Gary Frank art, like some of
Yeah,
the best stuff.
I picked up the first 4 issues to try it out. Really just in my last purchase, and
I,
did not know I
there's a
grabbed.
lot to like.
Yeah, so I'm stoked to read it, and the guy had all of them, so I don't know if anybody's going to want issue 5 on. So I can always go back to the well and grab those, from him if I decide I love it, which I probably
Well,
will.
you know, if it comes down to it, give me your wish list, and I'll just do that. Take a picture from my phone and just give you a data dump.
Yeah. That sounds good. Um, so basically, Stingray is an underwater kind of a Iron Man in a way. He's an underwater Iron Man, and
Okay.
I don't know if that makes him cooler or less cool. Probably less cool because he can't like he's just so ingratiated in this underwater world that he's like Namor's. He's basically Topo for Namor. He's
It's
just
so stupid because, like, it's definitely less than because, okay, this is a suit, a suit of armor, and if it's coming from Tony Stark, guess what? There's an electrical capability to it.
well,
So
it
you're
doesn't.
under. How are you charging your
It
suit?
didn't
You
come
know,
from Tony
how
Stark.
is any of this
Is
like?
is
It's like
thing.
Russian roulette anytime you hop in the ocean.
Well, here's the thing. It didn't come from Tony Stark. Tony thought it did.
Oh, right, okay. I
But
fell right into it.
no.
Cursed.
But it's fine because he has one of his things is he can project electrical bolts from his gloves.
Right.
Uh,
Wow. Okay.
hello? Like you come out of the water, are you instantly dry? Do you have to wait an hour to shoot these gloves off? What?
Damn.
How does that work?
Like the whole underwater thing, like it's just so counterintuitive to us
You
because
need
like
to.
we have to make all these weird allowances. Like, they have to be super strong and they have to be super fast because otherwise, throwing a punch underwater wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And like talking, how are they talking underwater?
Yeah. You need to tell your roommate friend about this character and his abilities because he'll have a field day with that.
I'll have to find that guy.
I'm
Yeah,
100% sure
it's
he'll have
so
a field day.
silly. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
another underused ability by all these characters, and I guess maybe it doesn't really fit with Namor since he kind of has like the Spock thing going on, but the ability to never have your hair in your eyes coming in and out of the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, remember in the 90s, like in the mid 90s where Namor got a makeover and his hair grew long and he was like all savage Namor.
Yeah, that was Jay Lee.
Yeah, that was the best. Like Savage Namor, and then he became even more primal for Sue Storm. And he was like, he would just walked in to the Baxter Building, and he was like, "I'm pulling my dick out right now, walking into the
Yeah,
building."
it's those
And you're like,
pheromones, baby.
yeah, damn. Namor's walking full dick out into the building, like
Dude,
he's
he's
showing
tanking
everybody.
meat. He's going for it.
Yeah, like he's tripoding this shit. Fuck.
Yeah, jumbo shrimp, man. Never been
So,
unwrapped.
so one more thing, I guess, one more character before we wrap this up. I just briefly want to talk about a character named Fathom. Now, not the Michael Turner Fathom. This is a Fathom that was
Oh, okay.
created much earlier than the Michael Turner Fathom. We're talking about
R.I.P.
yes, R.I.P. to Michael Turner. We're talking about a first appearance in 1983 in the Justice Machine Annual from Texas Comics was the original publisher. Later to be Comico Comics. Now this was
Okay, I've heard of Comico.
surprisingly, or not surprising, since we know about the Aquaman elemental hand, this was created by Bill Willingham.
Oh,
And
wow.
this character of Fathom, aka Becky Golden, was a debutante who fell off a boat and drowned. She then received various water-related abilities, as well as bright green skin and webbed fingers. And she was also
From
able
what?
to, I don't know, from like the elementals, I guess. Who the fuck knows with this shit? She was able to
Okay.
convert her body entirely into sentient water and shoot high pressure streams. So that's cool. We've got the Bill Willingham sentient water and high pressure stream shooting shit going on because he loves that. Plus, he's got this
Okay,
big
yeah.
titty woman because she's basically nude whenever she's underwater most of the time. So we've got that. And by the way, let me just preface this. Like, let me just state really quickly that Bill Willingham loves sexy ladies. Like, and I mean to the point where there were several issues called the Elemental Sex Specials. And I believe
Okay.
if I know there's at least 3. And if I'm correct, and I believe I am, the first one had Fathom on the cover fucking a dolphin.
Wow.
Yep. Full on riding that bitch. She was nude on the cover, riding this dolphin into
So
ecstasy.
she's like underneath, like kind of like reverse?
She's like,
Or
they're both floating, like it looks like going up towards the surface, but he's like curved, I guess, and she's like mounted on him, but still kind of off of him. So her bits are on his bits, it looks like, and she's just. I'll take a picture later and show you, or you can look it up because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time fathoming it. Oh God.
Well
Hey, throw the
done,
toaster
sir.
in here.
Well done, sir. But so I'm looking through through the issue because I own it, and I wanted to talk about it for this particular episode. But like in the back on one of the sex specials, it says, "Who is that girl? Why is her skin green? What is she doing with that dolphin? Where can I get one?" And it's showing the same picture of her nude riding this dolphin, like pinching her
That's
nipple.
on the cover.
That's on the cover. They're showing it in black and white, and underneath the picture it says, "You'll be the talk of the beach when you wear this beautiful full-color T-shirt." Available directly from
Oh,
Comico.
yeah,
And,
you will be the talk of the beach and probably the talk of like the drunk tank or whatever it is for being a menace to society.
and here's the best part: it's only available in large or extra large because
Hey, they know their audience at least.
they
You gotta
know
give them
their
that.
audience. Yes, all the big nerds are gonna wear their extra large elemental dolphin fucking shirt out to the beach.
Oh God. Yes. All right. This just kind of reminded me of it. You went to like San Diego Comic-Con like back in like the 90s and early aughts and stuff, right?
No, I didn't go till 2005, I think, or 2006 was my first year.
Oh man, that was like the last one I went to. Yeah, I mean, it really got hijacked by Hollywood. Well, anyway. One of the years there was like some sort of group, like they were like a boycott group or something.
Uh-huh.
They were all dressed in black, but then on their shirt it says "Marvel can suck my dick." And like this is like a club that like got a booth one of these years, and I'm just thinking like, you're a fucking scumbag to like, I mean, whatever, Marvel doesn't have the best track record, but like, dude, there are children running around, like there's people dressed like Sailor Moon, there's like little kids, and you have this fucking like just disgusting shirt for no reason. Wow. I don't know. It was like that's what the type of person that would wear the elemental dolphin fuck shirt. That's kind of what I picture in my head.
Yeah, it's great. I'm gonna send you the picture of the magazine clipping because that's the one I have really readily available on my phone. I'm gonna do that.
Okay, yeah, I want to see that. I just want to see the
I'm gonna send it
physics of
now. Yeah, I'm gonna send it now. You've got to see this. I gotta be careful.
Well, you ended us on a bang, quite literally. So good job.
That I did, sir. That I did. Let's see, where you at? Where you at, dolphin fucker? There it is. Boom. Okay, here it
Man,
comes.
I can already smell the tuna.
Oh my god. Oh my god. There's ladies listening to that. No, there probably is.
Oh
Maybe
right.
one.
Oh sorry. Yeah. Well,
Maybe
I mean,
one.
I'm
Two.
in a bathtub talking about underwater heroes, so I am a virgin. So
That
let
well.
be known.
Hey, wait a
38
minute.
years old.
Dude, your girlfriend must be pissed.
Yeah, she's really pissed. She's very patient. You'd think she was religious by waiting
He's
this
been
long.
waiting for marriage, yeah.
Yeah, right?
And he never wants to be married, so I don't get it.
What do we do?
Yeah. Well, I think on that note, we're gonna call it here. I'm starting to turn into a prune, I think. So.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Caleb, for humoring me in this ridiculous endeavor of our first ever Tub Talks.
Thank you again, Donald. There isn't anybody I'd rather go over the minutia of this garbage with than you. So thank you,
Yeah.
and I'm game for whatever novelty stuff we have going on in the future.
Awesome. We're gonna do an upside down episode at one point.
That'll be fun.
One where we're just skydiving and just yelling "oh shit" and then trying to talk comics. It'll be great. Yeah, it'll be great.
I'm down.
All right. Well, you can find Caleb at Disneyland. Am I correct? You're
Yep.
Disneyland?
I am back at Disneyland. COVID be damned. I'm making it happen.
Yeah. So if you're ever out in Disneyland, just start screaming Caleb out loud wherever you're at, and he'll come find you. Or
yes, the Caleb signal.
Yeah, he'll get in a lot of trouble probably. So maybe don't do that. But you could try it, but don't. But you could, don't. That being said, you can find our podcast. We do a live podcast, usually on Mondays, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, on the Rumble Spoon Productions page on YouTube Live there. You can find our audio podcasts. We usually put new ones out every Thursday or Friday, and they are on a whole host of streaming availabilities. We have YouTube. It's on YouTube. We have Spotify, iHeartRadio. We have Spreaker. We have Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and just a whole multitude of other ones that you can find us on. So please do seek us out. We always have a good time, or at least we try to with these podcasts. And sometimes we do really silly stunts like this. So thank you for tuning in. And if we don't see you in the tub, I guess, anytime soon, perhaps we will see you at the comic shop. Thanks for joining, Caleb. Really appreciate it.
Ahoy!
This has been The Real Short Box. We'll see you at the comic shop. Thanks for listening.